so that you can see the answer of first 30 or 40 questions that we solved in the first session. All right, let's begin. Question number 22. Uh, okay, for rivets in tension with countersunk head, the tensile value shall be how much? Question number 22. For rivets in tension with countersunk heads, the tensile value shall be reduced by 25%, reduced by 33%, or increased by
B,
25%, or increased by
35%.
33%. Who is this? Vikrant? Who gave this answer? The correct answer is answer B, reduced by 33%.
Me, bro.
Dhruv, good Dhruv. All right. So correct answer for question number 22 is B, reduced by 33%. So whenever we are providing rivets in tension with countersunk head, now there are different types of rivets and different types of heads for that. So for this specific type of head, whenever we are going to provide this type of rivet in a tension member, we need to reduce the tensile value by 33.3 percentage. Right. To the next question, question number 23. The common assumption that all rivets share equally a non-eccentric load is valid at a load below the working load, equal to the working load, above the working load, equal to the failure load. Come on, guess, because I know you don't know the
B,
answer. Who is this?
equal to the failure.
Equal to the
yes.
failure load.
Failure.
D. Yes, it is correct. Right. So last one is option D, equal to the failure load. The common assumption that all rivets equally share equally a non-eccentric load is valid at a load equal to the failure load. So up to failure load only this assumption is valid. After that or before that, this assumption is not valid. Okay. So question number 23, correct answer is option D. I hope you are marking these answers on your book. You are writing this answer in your book because when you prepare from the PDF, the answers I have not said in PDF. So write this answer in your notebook, or I'll be sharing this video on YouTube also. So you need to refer the video later on. Next question number 24. If A is the area of cross section of bar, the gauge length for the measurement of ductility will be how much? How much will be the gauge length? I know this is difficult, so I'll give you just directly the answer because there is no explanation for this. These are just values. So correct answer is option A, 5.65 into a raised to 1 half. 5.65 into a raised to 1 half is the correct answer for question number 24. You need to remember these values, right? There is no solution for that. Moving forward, question number 25, again a value formula based question. So if you know the formula, you can give the answer, or otherwise I'll give you the answer. Just first read the question. If small d and small b are rivet diameter and width of plate, the efficiency of riveted joint is given by. How we can find the efficiency? What is the formula to find the efficiency? So the correct answer for this is option number C. Efficiency is B minus D divided by B. So B is what? What is B? B is the width of plate and D is the diameter of rivet. So width of plate minus diameter of rivet divided by again width of plate multiplied by 100 will give you the efficiency. It is self understood because total 100% is width. Out of that 100% area, we are reducing the diameter of bolt. Right? We are reducing the diameter of bolt. So this is how you can find out the efficiency. For this case, the formula is B minus D divided by B. Correct answer is option C. Okay, moving forward, you can tell me if I am going fast, right? So next question is, this is an interesting question, right? This type of questions you will find most often in your GATE exams, and you may find this type of question in our exams also, right? the question is itself so long that you will feel that, oh, I should leave this question or I'll just guess any answer. But these are the easiest questions. You need to read it carefully. So let's solve it. Match list 1 type of stress with list 2 reliable value of stress and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. What is Fy? Fy is the minimum yield stress of steel. So what is list A? List A is a type of stress given. List B, list 2 is the allowable value of stress. So for example, what is the allowable value of stress for axial tension? You need to find from this. What is the allowable value of the stress for bending tension? You have to find the value from this. And out of this, there is a combination given. There is a correct answer combination given here. So can anyone find, has anyone solved this? What is the correct combination? What is the axial tension? For axial tension, what is the allowable value of stress? So for A
0.60.
is matching. A is matching with 3, right? 0.60 Fy. So A is matching with 3. So if you know any one or two answers from this, you can easily solve this. Now let us understand how we can solve this. So suppose first axial tension is matching with number 3.60 Fy. So if you see the answers, there are only two options available which are starting with 3. So now your answer is either B or D. Now you need to know any one answer from these three and you can easily solve this question. So next, bending tension. What is the allowable stress for bending tension?
Bending stress is 0.75.
0.66.
So answer is B.
0.66. 0.66. For bending tension, the correct answer is 2, 0.66. Now again C, P and D. Oh, we need to find one more answer, right? So we need to go to C. What is the correct value for C? Maximum shear stress.
40.
Maximum shear stress is 0.40,
40,
right?
yes.
So now, right? So by knowing only two answers, the correct answer you can find out easily. The correct answer is B. So this type of questions, it feels like questions, you will feel that, oh, this is going to be very tough. But you need to solve this smartly, right? You need to see the options. And if you find any one of the answer, you can reduce your options and then any one other answer, if you can get, you can easily give the answer, right? So it is very easy to solve this type of question. So for question number 26, this is match list type of question. And the correct answer is option B, 3241. This is the code 3241. Answer is B. Next, question number 27. I think it is blurred. Is it visible? Can you read it? Or I just dictated. I just dictated. The rivets in an eccentrically loaded riveted joint are as shown in figure below. Right? The figure is given, the rivets are given, and values are given, and load is applied here 500 kg. Which rivet will be stressed to maximum? Which rivet will be stretched to maximum? So for this type of solution, we have discussed in our lecture that eccentric loading, right? Eccentric loading. We have discussed this type of figure with you by using some standard terminologies. Here the values are given for that. So which rivets will be stretched to maximum? So
1 and 4.
which one will be stretched? The load is here.
4 and 6. No.
4 and 6. Exactly. 4 and 6. Rivet number 4 and 6 will be stretched maximum. Nearest to the load. Right? This is nearest to the load. 4 and 6. And this is at top, this is at bottom. So end rivets will be stretched maximum and the nearest one will be stretched maximum. So 4 and 6. So correct answer is option D, 4 and 6. You need to visualize certain things. If you can visualize this in practice, you can easily find the answers also. You don't need to have all the fundamental knowledge at times. Your visualization is enough to give the answers. Right? Next, question number 27. To ascertain a strength of a double cover butt joint, as shown in figure, the riveted joint is checked for. this is a double cover butt joint is given, and the riveted joint is checked for which value, whether it is checked for tearing of the plate, double shearing of the rivets, bearing of the rivets, and all of above. So if you know your examples, if you know the IS code, you can easily answer this question. Anyone? The riveted joint is checked for when you are using double cover butt joint. Whether we are checking for tearing of plate, whether we are checking for double shearing of the rivets, whether we are checking for bearing of rivets, or we are checking for all. So if you remember, there is a formula for this bearing of rivets in the IS code. There is a formula for double shear of rivets in the IS code. There is a formula for tearing of plate in the IS code. So the
All of
correct
the above.
answer, yes, exactly. Option D, all of the above. So by solving this type of question, what you can do, you can uh, know what type of questions can be asked from the IS code. So you focus on those terminologies, you focus on those figures, you focus on those formulas, and you can give the easily, you can solve easily in the code. Many times what happens, as for the past experience, most of the students do not have the experience of solving the MCQs, right? So without experience, it is very difficult to solve the MCQs. Once you solve 50, 60, 100, 200 MCQs, your mind will start thinking about that only, right? So question number 28, correct answer is option number D, all of above. Next, question number 29, the greater gauge of long rivets should not exceed gauge value. This is for gauge value. How much should be the maximum gauge length? How
All
much
D.
should be the maximum gauge length? This is about gauge length.
60.
Once again, I'm repeating, this is
60.
gauge length.
60, sir.
Wrong,
60.
Sir,
wrong.
D answer.
Who is this?
80D.
Who gave this answer? कौन बोला?
सुभाष बोला सर.
सुभाष, very good. तुक्का मारा या पता था?
कुछ कुछ पता भी है सर.
Okay, good, good. अगर पता है तो अच्छा है, right? So correct answer is 8D. Again, this is no explanation. You need to remember the value. Right? This type of question can get confusing because there is a maximum length for edge distance, there is a minimum length for edge distance, right? Maximum pitch distance, minimum pitch distance. So this type of question gets tricky. So you need to read the question very carefully and you need to be very clear about your answers. Otherwise, these questions can go horribly wrong. Right? Again, next question number 30. Again, logical question. Four bolts share the load P as shown in the figure. The shear strength of bolt is 30 kN and the tension strength of bolt is 40 kN. There is a figure given and the load is acting like this on the plates and the plate is connected using 4 bolts. 4 bolts share the load P. Whatever P load we have applied, it is shared by the 4 bolts and the strength of bolt is given 30 kN and the tension strength of bolt is given 40 kN. Let us see the options. Which one of the following value of P? So how much is the P load? Right? Force, we are supposed to find the force. How to find the force? Oh, I think this is a long question. There is a solution for this. So we are going to skip this question because the solution part is not will not be asked in your exam. So just give you the answer. You can note down the correct answer for this. The correct answer for this is option D, 134 kilonewton. The correct answer is
Sir, this
option
is
number.
analysis type of question.
Yes, yes, yes. So will be required some calculation part. So this type of questions will not be asked for your current semester end exam. Right? So just for the solution part, you can note down the answer, and if you want to know the actual solution, you can contact me after the session. If you are preparing for GATE, I'll give you the actual solution for this also. Right? So for the moment, correct answer is option D, 134. Moving towards next question, number 31. What is the maximum permissible longitudinal pitch in staggered riveted compression joint? Again, it is a tricky question, right? If it is asked simply what is the maximum permissible pitch, you know the answer. But here some other parameters are also there. What is the maximum permissible longitudinal pitch in staggered riveted compression joints? For staggered riveted compression joints, the value of maximum permissible pitch is option C, 300 mm.
250.
300. This is for compression joint, staggered riveted joint, staggered joint. So the correct answer is option number C, 300 mm. So you need to remember this value. There is no solution for this. Okay, question number 31, correct answer is C. Next, again there is an interesting question, match list, right? So I'll read out the question. If anyone can solve it quickly, can give the answer. Match list 1. List 1 is for failure mode with list 2, reason, and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. So there is a codes given and list 1 is for failure mode, list 2 is for reason why it is failing. So A is shear failure of plate. This is happening due to what? Is it happening due to insufficient edge distance, or is it happening due to strength of plate is less than that rivet? Second, bearing failure of plate. It is happening due to which of this condition? Tearing failure of plates, splitting failure of plates, and these two conditions are there for which type of failure, which condition is applied. So if you see the codes, you can find the answer very easily. Suppose let us start finding the answer. Shear failure of plate is happening due to insufficient edge distance. If we are not providing sufficient edge distance, our plate will fail due to shear failure. So A is matching with 1. So code is A1. So how many options we have? A1, 3 options. So this examiner is smart, right? So A1, 3 options are there. So option B is eliminated, right? Option B is eliminated. Now we need to know second answer. So let us see, bearing failure of plates. It happens due to strength of plate is less than that of rivets. Bearing failure of plates happens due to strength of plate is less than that of rivets. So B is matching with 2. So B2. A1,
Option
B2.
is C.
Exactly. Right. So we need to know only 2 answers. Very simple. This type of questions are very simple. Provided you know any 2 answers. Any 2. Right. So I hope you know the trick to solve this type of questions. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good. Right. So I hope you will learn something new today. Right? How to solve this type of questions. This type of questions are asked every year in your GATE exams. If you see your GATE papers, previous year question papers, this type of questions are asked. Not the similar question from the steel, but this type of questions are asked from either of the any of the subject that are part of syllabus in GATE. Right? So you need to know only 2 answers. You can easily solve. Okay, moving forward, question number 33. I think this is calculative questions. There is a long solution for this, so we are going to skip this. But nevertheless, I'll give you the answer. A 20 diameter rivet are used to connect 10 thick plates. The permissible stresses for rivets in shear and bearing are 80 megapascal and 250 megapascal respectively. The difference of rivet value in single shear and double shear is. So this is a long solution for this. So we're going to skip this, but I'll give you the answer. If you want to solve, you can solve at your home and verify the answer. The correct answer is answer B. Or if you really want to learn, prepare for GATE and you want to solve this, you can contact me after the session. I'll show you how to solve this. Okay. So correct answer is option B, 24.7 kilonewton. That is the difference of rivet value in single shear and double shear. Next, question number 34. Again, this is a logical question. When the axis of load lies in the plane of rivet group, then the most heavily loaded rivet will be the one which. Once again, try to read this question very carefully. When the axis of load lies in the plane of rivet group. So axis of load is within the rivet group. In that case, most heavily loaded rivet will be the one which is at the CG of the rivet group, is at the minimum edge distance from the CG of the rivet group, gives the maximum angle between the two forces FA and FM, gives the minimum angle between two forces FA and FM. So I hope you are familiar with these two terminologies. We have seen these terminologies in our lectures in eccentric loadings, FA and FM. So can anyone guess the answer?
D.
Yes, exactly. D. So when the axis of load lies in the plane of rivet group, the most heavily loaded rivet will be the one which gives the maximum angle between the two forces FA and FM. Minimum angle, right? Minimum angle. Remember this term, minimum angle, maximum load. Minimum angle, maximum load. Question number 34, answer is D. Question number 35, again, simple 1 point answer. For bolts up to 25 mm diameter, the difference between the gross diameter and nominal diameter is, quickly. This type of questions we solved in first session also. From table, there's a table
1.5.
given.
2.
For bolts up to 25 meter, the difference
2
between
mm.
gross diameter and
1.5.
nominal diameter. 1.5. This is coming from the table, right?
2 mm.
1.5.
This is coming from the table.
Yes, sir.
IS 800. This is coming from the table. 1.5 or 2. Let me just check the answer. Okay, here it is written as 1.5. Just check the answer in the code, right? No worries. Just check the answer in the code. Currently, the answer given by in the solution is 1.5 mm. Right? So we go by 1.5. But if any other answer is there, you can correct my mistakes, right? You can take time that sir you are wrong. I'll be happy if I'm wrong. If you prove me wrong, right? Not that I'll be happy if you say if I'm wrong. That means you have found out it yourself. So you'll be remembering this answer for whole of your life. That देखा मैंने उस टाइम पे वो सर का आंसर गलत साबित किया, right? So it is good for me so that you remember this answer for the whole of your life. Okay, question number 35, answer is 1.5 for the moment. But if any other answer, you can text me anytime that sir you are wrong. This is the correct answer. All right, moving forward, question number 36. According to IS specification, the maximum pitch of rivets in compression is. This is directly from IS code. If you know the code, you know the answer. Come on. Maximum pitch
A, sir.
of rivets in compression. Exactly. Correct answer is A. This is given in IS code, right? If you have code, open the code and find the answer and highlight this because you need to remember this value. You will not be allowed to sit with IS codes in the exam. So you need to remember these values. Right? So correct answer for 36 is A. Again, question number 37. It is again calculative questions. So we will not go in much detail, but I'll just read out the question and give you the answer. A member of roof truss consists of two angle sections 80 by 50 by 6 mm placed back to back on both sides of a 8 mm thick gusset plate. It carries a direct load of 71 kilonewton. What is the number of power driven filled rivet required for the joint? Assume diameter rivet is 16 mm. So again there is a long solution for this. And verify your answer. The correct answer is 2 rivets. Question number 37. Correct answer is 2 rivets. So 2 rivets are required. Next, question number 38. Again, very simple question. Question number 38. The type of stress induced in the foundation bolts fixing a column to its footing is. Again, I'm reading. The type of stress induced in the foundation bolts fixing a column to its footing is pure compression, bearing, pure tension, pure bending.
C.
Pure compression.
Rotation.
See how pure compression is not
Yep.
possible because column is not going to rest on your bolts. Column is not going to rest on your bolts. Column is resting on the foundation only, but bolts are provided only to connect. So when your column deflects, your bolts will be in tension because they will be trying to keep your column in position, and your column is trying to pull them out, right? So this, in this case, you need to visualize actual connection, what will happen, right? So correct answer is option C, question number 38. The bolts will be in pure tension. Question number 39. When the effect of wind and earthquake load is considered in the design of rivet and bolts for steel structures, by what percentage the permissible stresses may be exceeded? I think we have solved this in the previous session. What it is saying, when we are doing the design for earthquake load and wind load, by what percentage we need to increase our permissible stresses? By what percentage we need to increase our permissible stresses? The correct answer is
25.
option B, 25. The correct answer is option B, 25 percentage. Now this you need to keep in mind for your practical knowledge also. These questions can be asked in interviews also if you are going to apply in a structural design firm, right? These are the practical terms. When you are designing HL structures, the HL structures are designed for wind loads and earthquake loads also. So in that case, you need to remember this, that oh, for this design, we need to increase our permissible stresses for bolts and rivets by 25 percentage. These are practical questions. Next, question number 40. Again, it is a calculated question. So I'll quickly read out the question and the answer. A 6 mm thick mild steel plate is connected to 8 mm thick plate by 16 mm diameter soft rivets. What is the number of rivets required to carry 80 kilonewton load? Again, it is a long question, a long solution for this. Just let me see if I can solve this within 1 or 2 seconds. Not possible. Right? So the correct answer for 40 is option number C, 4. If you want detailed solution, you can write to me. Right? I'll give you the detailed solution and you can verify your answer. So question number 40, option C, 4 is correct. Question number 41. What is the ratio of yield stress in power-driven shop rivet relative to permissible bearing stress of mild steel? So this is a very, very intelligent question, right? You need to remember two values and then find the ratio of that. First value is yield stress in power-driven shop rivets. What is the yield stress? That is the first value required to be known to the permissible bearing stress of mild steel. So what is the permissible bearing stress of mild steel? So if you know these two values, you can easily solve this question. Right? So question number 41, the correct answer is option number B, that is 0.8. And both these values are given in IS code. Right? So just go to the code once, note down important values so you can solve these questions. So question number 41, correct answer, the ratio is 0.8. Next, 42. A bolt is designed as hex bolt M16 cross 90 NL will have a diameter of 16 mm, diameter of 70 mm, length of 16 mm, cross sectional area of 16 by 70 centimeters square. So this is a terminology used for denoting a bolt. This is the name of bolt. So out of this name of bolt, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Whether the diameter is 16 mm, whether the diameter is 70 mm, whether length is 16 mm, or whether cross sectional area is 16 by 70 centimeters square. So the correct answer from this we can identify is the diameter is 16 mm. M16 bolt, M20 bolt, M30 bolt, M35 bolt. Exactly. Sangeniduk, you give the correct answer. Answer is A, diameter of 16 mm. So again, it is a practical question. You must know how to purchase a bolt. If you go in the market to purchase a bolt, You say this, give me hex bolt M16 by 70 NL, I'll give you 16 mm diameter bolt. Okay, so next question number 43. Which of the following statements regarding the riveted joint as shown in the given figure is correct? So there is a figure given and there are statements given. Which of the following statement is a correct statement? So first is, in elastic theory, all rivets carry equal forces. Second, in plastic theory, all rivets carry equal forces. Third, both in elastic and plastic theories, all rivets carry equal forces. And last, in plastic theory, the outside rivet A and D carry greater proportion of loads. What is the correct statement for the current figure?
D.
The correct
D.
statement is C. Both in elastic and plastic, we assume that all the rivets carry equal forces. It is an assumption. Right? So correct answer is option C. Both elastic and plastic theories are rivets. All rivets carry equal forces. Okay, moving forward, question number 44. Right. Consider the riveted joint shown in figure. The maximum permissible value P is the maximum permissible value P, pitch. Maximum permissible pitch value is how much?
50.
50, right? This is directly given in the code. Alright. So correct answer for this is, oh, sorry, this is wrong. 50 is wrong. 50 is wrong. See the figure very carefully. This is 12 mm thick plate. This is 6 mm thick plate. This is 6 mm thick plate. You need to calculate. There is some value in the code. Maximum permissible value of pitch when you are connecting two plates. The correct answer is 96 mm. Right? You just note down the answer. If you have any queries, you can ask me after the session is over. I'll give you the detailed explanation for this. Right? So correct answer is option D for this question, question number 44. Correct answer is D, 96 mm. Right? But this type of questions are very less likely to come in your final semester exam. Right? This is only for those students who are preparing for GATE exams. If you want a detailed solution, you can contact me. I'll give you the detailed solution for this. Okay. Next, question number 45. In which of the following cases we avoid bolted connection? So I hope you will be able to answer this question. In which of the following cases we avoid bolted connection? Connection subjected to fire, connection subjected to frequent earthquake load, connection subjected to snow load, connection subjected to corrosion problem.
B.
Option
Earthquake.
is
Frequent earthquake load.
frequent
Earthquake.
earthquake load, right? Correct answer is frequent earthquake loads. So wherever there is frequent earthquake loads, there is chance of frequent earthquake in those areas, we are not going for bolted connections. Any reason for that? Any reason for that?
Yes. Yes, sir. Because in
Yes,
earthquake there are many vibrations. And due to vibrations, the bolt will open.
exactly, right? Due to vibration, the bolt nuts will loosen up, right? So there are chances of failure. So due to vibration, your connection will get loose and there is chances of failure. Right? So in that case, we will not use the bolted connection. So correct answer is option B. Question number 45. Correct answer is option B. Moving to the next question. Question number 46. The minimum thickness of steel plate which is directly exposed to weather and is not accessible for cleaning and repairing should be. There is a direct answer for this in IS
Six.
code. If you have referred the IS code, you can give this answer. The correct answer is option C, 8 mm. This is exposed to weather and not accessible for cleaning and repairing. So correct answer is 8 mm. This is directly, you see the question, give the answer from the code, that type of question. No logic. Okay. Next question number 47. Again, it is a calculative question. Uh, So I think I'll skip this question, right? I'll just give you directly answer. I'll not waste time in reading the question also. Question number 47, the correct answer is option C. If you want detailed explanation, you can contact me. I'll give you the detailed explanation for question number 47. Right? The correct answer is option C, 673.056. Next, question number 48. Again, I think it is a calculative question. Yes, so we are going to skip this again. I'll give you the correct answer directly. Question number 48. The correct answer is 132.50 kilonewton. I hope you are noting the answers. Question number 48, answer is A. Question number 47, answer is C. Next, question number 49. Again, it is a calculative question. 49, the correct answer is B. 271.586. I hope all of you are okay with this, or you want explanation for these questions. You want explanation for this? Should I explain this calculative questions? Yes or no?
Oh, sir.
Great, great. Right, because this is only for those students who are preparing for GATE. And I'm sure that out of 19 students that are present here, I guess hardly 1 or 2% of students will be preparing for GATE. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, question number 50. Again, it is a calculative question. So I'll just quickly give the answer for question number 50. The correct answer for question number 50 is option A, 378 kilonewton. Okay. Now question number 51. Okay. This is an interesting question. Which of the following factors are considered correct regarding pin connection? Which of the following factors are considered correct regarding pin connections? So four factors are given. Which factors are correct? Either 1, 2, 3 only, 2, 3, 4 only, 1, 3, 4 only, or all of the above. Pin connections are rigid. Secondary stresses do not occur. Moment pin connection is 0. Only one pin is used in the connection. Which of the following factors are considered correct? Out of these four, which are the correct ones? So pin connections are rigid connection. Yes or no?
Yes.
Pin connect. Yes. So one. So see, your answers are limited now. Either A, C, or D. B is out of the competition. Then secondary stresses do not occur. So in pin connection, we are assuming that secondary stresses do not occur. Right? So second is also correct. So now C is eliminated. Right? So now it is 50-50. B is gone, C is gone. Only two answers are left, A and B. Moment pin connection is 0. So moment in pin connection is 0. That is also correct. Again, two answers are remaining. And only one pin is used in the connection. Is it correct? Last one, fourth one. We're using only one pin.
No.
No, right? So the correct answer is answer A. So there is a way to solve this type of questions, right? If you know any one or two answers from out of four options, you can easily give the answer. It is like KBC. Next, question number 52. Again, it is a calculated question. So just quickly give you the answer for question number 52. The answer for this is 90.52. And the last question for this chapter, that is the bolted joint or riveted joint. First question for this chapter, question number 53. Again, it is a calculative question. So I quickly give the answer. You need to find the efficiency of plate. Right? This is given. You need to find the efficiency. And I hope you know the longer method to find out the efficiency. Correct answer is answer C. Efficiency is 93%. Right. So this completes our second chapter, that is riveted, bolted, and pin connection. So this type of questions can be asked in the exam. So if you observe this question pattern, most of the questions are from the IS course, or if you see the exam, if you know the example also, you know the method of example, you know the formula, you can easily solve the calculative part also, right? So this completes our chapter number 2, that is the pin connection, bolded connection. And next, we're going to start with chapter number 3. This is for welded connection. Uh, there are, I guess, similar amount of questions in this chapter also. There are about 35 questions. So it is 604. I think I will start this. We'll start this in the next session. So we can complete this in one session only, continuously. Welded connection. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, sir.
So I hope these sessions are helpful to you. Yes or no? Are
Yes.
these sessions helpful? Right. If you feel any queries, any doubts, sir, I don't like this type of MCQs directly, you solve the questions, those long questions that we solve in the lectures. We can do that also. Shall we do that?
No, sir, this is okay.
Right. Okay. So this will give you actual feel of the exam. You feel like you are solving the MCQs yourself. Right. So that is the reason why I've chosen this method, to give you the actual feel for the exam, that how you solve the MCQs in exam, what are the different techniques and tricks, right? As I have discussed for the list type of questions, and find the correct answer. In that, if you know any one or two answers from that, you can easily give the answer, right? So there are some techniques also. Only the knowledge is not required. Some, if you know the techniques, you can solve the questions very quickly, right? So we need to solve this in within the time limit also, right? So this is about from this session. One more thing I would like to discuss. Your mock test is today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right? So as we all know that in the first mock test, all of you found a lot of problems. Yes. How many of you completed the first mock test? Logged in. जिसने log in किया उसकी तो लॉटरी लग गई होगी.
हाँ सर.
Log in हुआ था सबका?
हाँ सर, हो गया.
हो गया था.
Okay. So how was the experience?
It's a good, sir.